Are you a disgruntled Christian youth? Does your overprotective mother shield you from the influence of the unholy mainstream superheroes? Well then, talk to her about buying a DVD set of the family-friendly superhero Bibleman. Or better yet, try convincing her to buy a copy of the Bibleman video game adventure, A Fight for Faith. Control our heroes on a quest to stop the wacky protester. This high-quality piece of entertainment from Covenant Studios and the DVD set can all be yours for only $49.99, plus shipping and handling. Warning, may contain more than a daily dose's worth of dogma.
It sure has been a while since I last went to church. I never really hopped aboard the whole Jesus train, for lack of a better term. But I do remember it always being really disarming for me, seeing so many people sing in unison. Honestly, church was always my favorite spot for people watching. It's like a trip to the zoo, except there's no glass in between you and you're part of the exhibit. But, you know, naturally, I do wonder if those guys are still back there munching on crackers, talking about God, and dressing up in yellow and purple superheroes on the weekends to run around and beat up the neighborhood heathens. Good times.
Who else remembers Bibleman? If not, well, back in the early 2000s, he was a popular Christian alternative superhero to many unfortunate children around the country.
Wow, this looks like a pretty powerful weapon.
It sure does.
While we were up on Saturday mornings watching Spider-Man and Beautiful Joe, these poor souls had to be content with watching this dogmatic daredevil fighting all sorts of sinful evildoers. Man, just think of the rogues gallery this guy must have built up. People like the Service Skipper, Dr. Remarried, and that friend you had once that ate meat during Lent. To put the show's plot simply, this guy Miles Peterson was rich. Then he got sad because he was rich. But then, one day during his bi-daily weeping sessions, he found a Bible and against all odds, someone turned a scoop light on above his head and he was all like,
Dude, cut it out.
And Bibleman was born for some reason. The TV show sucks. I mean, its corniness is pretty much on par with the Batman TV show that featured Adam West, but you know, it's always great to throw on for some laughs with friends. And you know what else is great to laugh at? The Bibleman video game that was made in 2005. First of all, the opening's one of the worst displays of CGI I've seen in all my years, and that's saying something. It's even made worse in the fact that it came out the same year as other great titles like God of War 2 and Resi 4. So the only excuse they have is their budget, which, let's be honest, couldn't have been that big to begin with. So all things considered, it's bearable, and at least they look like human beings. It's just so goddamn silly. The one thing about it I just can't forgive, though, is it reuses footage but just with a mosaic filter slapped over it. That's astonishingly lazy editing and just leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth. It doesn't get much better when it comes to the character selection. For some stupid reason, we're unable to pick Bibleman. The hell's up with that? Was I too bold to think that in Bibleman, A Fight for Faith, I would be able to play as, I don't know, Bibleman? Alright, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. It's a real shame, though, because Bibleman's the only character who doesn't look like he was designed by a first-year art student. Just because the colors contrast doesn't mean they look good together, damn it. Ugh. And who wants to play as Bible Girl or Cypher? They both sound equally lame. Actually, nah, Cypher's dumber. Before the missions begin, you're treated to your first FMV cutscene. These cutscenes star our motley crew of Bible Girl and Cypher usually being debriefed for the next mission. And they're absolutely hilarious. This first one here is a briefing from the Bible computer named Eunice, who tells us we need to squad up and go after the wacky protester. Apparently he was caught exercising his free speech or something. Obviously, we can't be having any of that, as the Bible Adventure team was called in for support to put a stop to his dubious picketing. My favorite part about this first FMV cutscene is the actors' faces. It seems like Cypher doesn't know where to look to make it seem like he knows what he's doing, and Bible Girl just straight up breaks character. Well, either that or she likes what she sees. Besides our divine duo and Eunice, the FMV also stars this person. Just take a look for yourself.
Cypher, Bible Girl, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Theophilus.
Sorry, what was that?
My name is Mr. Theophilus.
Come again?
Mr. Theophilus.
Mr. Theophilus? Mr. Theodosius? Forget it. Oh jeez, that ponytail.
The board of directors that oversee the Bible Adventure team.
HHIC? Hick?
Head honcho in charge.
We didn't know there was a board of directors.
Oh my god. Excuse my digression, but Bible Girl is totally the grown-up version of every female child actor in Goosebumps. You know the one that always said things like, "Oh, you don't know about the mystery? Let me tell you what's up."
know there was a board of directors.
Well, now you do. The members of the board are anonymous.
The board is made up of 3 private investors, 2 physicists, 5 engineers, 3 theologians, 2 psychologists, 2 pastors, and 7 janitors.
Well, Jesus, at least they're diversified. But somehow I find myself wondering why 7 janitors have a place on the
Hick?
board of directors.
It's the White House, sir. Thank you.
Ha! Did this guy just deny a phone call from the goddamn White House? What an asshole.
We are the ones that fund the team and have designed the Bible cave.
And all the state-of-the-art equipment.
Holy shit. I'm sorry, I can't take this. Moving on. We're then let loose in what I can only assume is called the Bible Cave. What else would it be? We got a command console, the Bibleman suit, and some computers upstairs that do Bible things, probably. But to make up for that, they have a goddamn motorcycle in this chamber off to the side, practically hidden by the isometric view. Alright, that's pretty rad. Another thing I found is that if you click on something, it'll tell you what it is. I really like this feature because, man, without it, I would have had no way to know that this is a crate, that that's a science table, or that this is rock. I cannot wait until this Sunday to tell my pastor just how much I've learned. So I'm trying to move around and get a feel for things, but these fucking tutorial windows just won't stop popping up. It's really frustrating. Just stop completely interrupting my gameplay. And the look I'm getting from Bibleman is definitely not helping. Alright, I think they're over. Damn it. Alright, now that that annoying shit's out of the way, let's limp on over to the first stage, a field simulation. Everyone walks like they've got a plank of wood taped down their back. Not to mention Bible Girl looks like she's never carried a firearm before in her life. And speaking of firearms, the combat's terrible. The enemies walk around mumbling to themselves until they spot you and shoot their mystical blue electric balls at you, and then you have to shoot an orange ball into their blue balls to reflect the balls back at them and hurt them. That's just, like, too many balls, man. However, if you play as Cypher, he uses shields to bounce back the enemy's balls. Balls flying everywhere. If there's one thing we can learn from this, it's that Jesus loves balls. The really ludicrous part is that you can only block the enemy's shots in 8 different directions. However, they're able to shoot from any angle they so desire to get at you. Unfortunately, that means you can only reflect their shots from one of the 8 directions you can fire or block in, and often it's particularly unclear which direction you should defend yourself with. What makes matters worse is that each enemy takes about 5 hits before disintegrating into sparks. And no, that's not because we're in a simulation, that happens out on actual missions too. This second mission has us ambushing the wacky protesters' followers. They were sent to defile the Bible printing warehouse. Well, we were sent to defile them. That sounds inappropriate. Anyway, this level's surprisingly difficult. It's just an absolute clusterfuck of enemies attacking you from every which way. And don't forget to keep those reflexes sharp to knock back those balls. Well, luckily, the third level doesn't have any combat. This is both a blessing and a curse, in the sense that we don't have to deal with getting bombarded by enemies, but it's also exceedingly dull. Actually, this is where the new Bibleman is found. You're supposed to find specific Bibles with certain passages that have quotes that pertain to armor, and find the right guy to give them to. Now, herein lies the problem. Notice these 5 guys wearing the exact same outfit? Yeah, obviously it ends up being way too confusing. Well, at least we have one less person to worry about, as it looks like Red Shirt McGee has decided to take a leisurely stroll in the church parking lot in adjacent forest. Unfortunately, we can't seem to join him in his carefree lifestyle. Us on the Bible Squad have work to do. And it just so happens that someone else is suspiciously wandering around outside. What's the deal with this guy? Oh, he's the groundsman. Alright, makes sense. What I'd like to know though is how they got Hagrid to do the job, but that's just me. Going from Hogwarts to some church in suburban America is a real downgrade, but I won't judge. You do you, man. You do you. This stage is also where the awful hitboxes rear their ugly faces. At one point in time, I ended up being stuck in between Cypher and some random douchebag. Move. Move! Why don't you move? What's really unfair about this is that everyone else here has spent more than their fair share of time climbing over the chairs in this church, yet we're not able to do so to escape this situation. I can only imagine what's happening. I bet this guy's there being like, "Bible Girl, I'm like your biggest fan, dude!" And that Bible Girl accidentally ate Cypher's sandwich he was saving the other day, so he's not moving to let her escape the one-man Bible Girl fan club. Luckily, before I reset, I remembered I could switch characters to Cypher and make myself unstuck. God, what a nightmare. Man, these people just have the most interesting things to say. Things like,
I pray every day.
Don't let the wacky protester win.
And,
wow, a member of the Bible team.
We should do that last guy solid and introduce him to the guy from before. Don't ask me how I know, but I have a feeling the Bible Girl fan club has some openings available. While finding the right studly character to be our new Bible-wielding hero takes forever, as we do apparently have to locate the man more devout than fucking Joan of Arc, finding him is immensely satisfying. And then you just feed him books.
Ah! Thanks for this important scripture.
Yep, we got the right guy. So you think this is the best part, right? That I'm gonna tell you that playing as Bibleman's awesome and so much better than the other two? Well, I have some bad news. But first, let me address some other things about the game I've been meaning to get around to. As far as visuals go, well, Bibleman's nothing special. But let's be honest, did we really expect it to be? They're not necessarily bad, but because your players and enemies look more like cartoon characters and the environments and items look more realistic, there's so much that just looks out of place. Especially the combat balls. Like, just, what are they? In terms of audio mixing, it missed the mark completely. It's fucking atrocious. Not only are the enemies incessantly rambling on about whatever happens to cross their mind, but the music and sound effects are just as loud as everything else.
Lovely pirouette.
Oh, yours is nice as well.
Woo! There you go.
Thank you.
And to you.
Thank you.
There's hardly any mixing at all, creating the feeling like you're going out of your mind. This game is just incredibly subpar. I mean, with an IP like Bibleman, you can't really be expecting much, but still, it's honestly very disappointing, because anytime I play a game like this, I find myself hugely let down by how lifeless they are. And that's really what I take away from this. These kinds of uninspired games that could barely carry a tone and let alone convey one never tend to stand out or really stick around for that long. I mean, alright, that one FMV sequence with Mr. Thorax or whatever the hell was pretty goddamn hysterical, but nothing remotely carrying that tone is conveyed through the gameplay or anything. Imagine how awesome the game would have been if it had been that hilarious. So much more could have been done to create a world in which I thoroughly enjoyed teleporting sinners to hell. I'm just upset we didn't get to ride around in the Bible cycle. But let's get back to what you're all waiting for. The bad news. Bibleman's born, you're all excited, but if you're the same case as me, you see this screen. Yep, this whole time I was playing the free trial. What, you think I'd actually spend money on this game? It came out on 2005 and it's $26 on Amazon. Man, it really annoys me that they left Bibleman out of the demo. Why not at least have one level with him in it? I know you could argue that they left him out so people who wanted to play as him would have reason to buy the game, but no, that's stupid. Like I said, having one level where you play as Bibleman is just that, one level. It would give people the knowledge of how the entire game feels to play, thereby making an informed decision of whether or not to buy it. The demo of a game shouldn't make people wonder if the actual game might be better because there was a character missing, not to mention it's the character that the game's named after. I say this because there's that insane part of my brain that's currently wondering if being Bibleman somehow makes this game like 100 times better. But I really shouldn't kid myself, it's probably shit just like the rest of the game.